Editing note, before we get started, this video is being released on the anniversary of the day of the event that the cookbook takes place. It is the last dinner on the Titanic, and we're having coconut sandwiches. Happy Easter from the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make coconut sandwiches from this cookbook. That coming up in just a second. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Tonight we're going to make coconut sandwiches. In 1997, James Cameron put out his blockbuster Titanic at the end of the year, and leading up to that a whole bunch of Titanic books came out, including this one cookbook called The Last Dinner on the Titanic, and it has a breakdown of every class and what they were eating that night, the full menus, and it's a really amazing cookbook if you can get your hands on it. I highly suggest the pasta with fennel. It's amazing, and I don't even like fennel. Tonight we're making my favorite cookie. We're doing it for Easter weekend, so I have something to bring to Mom's house, and also because it was a request by my oldest, Riley, who I found out absolutely loves this cookie, and I haven't made it in years. Joey will not be appearing in this video. He does not like the texture of coconut, so he has decided to forego this, but we can make do without him. So let's get started making these cookies. To make our coconut sandwich cookies from the Titanic second class menu, we will need a half a cup of softened butter, mine's at room temperature, a half a cup of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, mine is rum based, 1 egg, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 2/3 a cup of sweetened shredded coconut, 1/4 cup of freshly grated nutmeg, which we will grate when the time comes, and 1 egg white beaten, which is not shown because we don't need it yet. To begin, we were going to put in all of our dry ingredients, our flour, our coconut, and we need a 1/4 teaspoon of grated nutmeg, so we're going to just grate our nutmeg for a few seconds over the top of this. If you go a little heavy-handed, it's just going to be a little more nutmeggy in flavor. That looks good. Now we're going to give this a quick little stir. So we're going to put that to the side and work on our liquid ingredients. So we're going to start with our butter, which is room temperature. Now you can do this with a hand mixer or by hand. I'm going to do it by hand with a fork. And we're just going to cream our butter and our sugar together. It's still a little bit cold. It was frozen an hour ago. Okay, so we're just going to finish creaming this. Alright, now that we've got our butter creamed, we're going to really quickly beat up our egg a little bit. Now we can add the egg to our creamed butter and sugar. Alright, so we're going to throw in our vanilla. And give that a quick stir. Once that's all well incorporated, we're going to throw in our dry ingredients. As you can see, these cookies can be thrown together quite quickly. Okie dokie. Alright, now we've got it to this point. We're going to wrap this in saran wrap and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours for it to harden up. Okay, now we're going to get ready to roll and cut out our cookies. So we have some flour for dusting. We've got a cup that I'm going to use as my circle cutter because I don't have any actual circle cutters. 1 egg for egg whites, brush to brush the egg whites on, and a rolling pin. We also have parchment paper to make the job a little bit easier. First we unwrap our dough. Next we'll lightly dust our parchment paper with flour. We'll also lightly dust our rolling pin before we roll our dough out to about 1/8 of an inch. Now the good thing about this dough being so cold is it makes it easier to cut. Next, flour your cutter. A 2-inch cutter is recommended. That's about what this cup is. Another trick I picked up is twisting the cup as you cut the dough. This helps pull the coconut away from the edges. Then move on to a prepared cookie sheet, either greased or lined with parchment paper, which I have done. Next, we're going to separate our egg. I'm going to do this by cracking the egg into the bowl and then pulling the yolk out with my hands. Usually I would let it drip through, but it didn't work this time. Next, we're going to gently beat our egg white, and we're going to do this to break everything up to make it more easily spreadable. Finally, lightly brush each of the cookies with the egg whites to give them a nice finish. It'll make them a little shiny. Now we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're going to pop these into the oven. I'm setting the timer for 12 minutes because I made them on the little larger side. They should be thinner than I made them. Original baking time was 8 to 10 minutes for a thinner, smaller cookies, so adjust your cooking time as necessary. Once they look lightly toasted, out they come. And now here's a close-up of how they should look at this point. Now we're going to mix up the frosting while we're waiting for our cookies to cool. If you have it available, make sure to transfer them to a cookie rack. Now to make our icing, we are going to need 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of shortening, a tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of coconut, and a dash of vanilla. If you notice, there's no salt in this recipe. The salt comes from the butter. So definitely use salted butter for this recipe. Mixing up our frosting, first we're going to combine the powdered sugar, butter, shortening, and coconut. Start creaming the ingredients together, then add the vanilla. Once it's all combined, it may look dry, and it doesn't say it, but at this point you can add some milk or cream 1 teaspoon at a time to moisten this up a little bit. This project makes me kind of wish I had a hand mixer. As you can see, this frosting is really thick. It's very much like the frosting in any commercial sandwich cookie. Think Oreos or Vienna fingers. But it's really rich and creamy. Next, we're going to take a moment to match up our cookies. Don't want a big top on a small bottom or an oval with a circle. That kind of thing. We want them to look nice and neat. Finally, we're going to fully coat one side with a small amount of the frosting, then squish it closed with its partner. One more close-up of our finished sandwich cookie before we have people try it. Are you that excited to try the cookies?
I'm just posing for the intro.
You're silly.
Yes.
Well, last year, the silly man showed us how to make those wonderful lemon-filled chocolate thingies. And this year, as he's staring intently at the cookies, I'm going to let him try the cookies I made that he helped me learn to make in the first place. All those many moons ago. Many moons. So go ahead, Daddy. The smile says so much.
Very good. I remember when the movie Titanic was all the rage, and we got the last dinner at the Titanic, and we got a thing, and then we saw the recipe that said coconut sandwiches. Gotta try it. I mean, it's been a favorite ever since.
Now we're going to flash back in time to Riley trying them. Because he does have a reaction. We're not on camera, but I did get a reaction. So with that, we're all done, and I'm gonna see what Riley thinks of those. There it is, big old thumbs up. That means we have a winner. Now it's my turn. This is so pretty. First the coconut hits, and then the vanilla, and then more coconut, and then you get the butter from the icing. So good. So good. Now, Alternatively, if you don't want to do shortening and butter, you can do just butter, and it just makes it that much richer. But I wanted to show you guys how to do it based on the recipe. So anyway, that's the end of that. I'm glad you got to share with me one of my absolute favorite recipes, and I hope you try them out. And if you did and you like them, yeah, let me know down below. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you really like this recipe. And until next time, take care, be safe, and bye. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I have uploaded again. And from all of us at the channel, take care, be safe, and... So, Joey, you want a coconut cookie?
Coconut?
Yeah.
No.
Ew! Told you.